Well, hey, welcome back. I'm getting ready to make some more of the protein sparing modified bread. This bread is really good, you guys. Everything that I'm going to use is right here. I'm using some cage-free 100% liquid egg whites, and I am going to use 16 ounces of these egg whites. So I'm going to get ready to go ahead and pour this in. So like I said, I'm going to use 16 ounces of the egg whites. 8 ounces. Got to shake this up. Here's another 8 ounces of the egg whites. So that is 16 ounces of the egg whites. To this, I'm going to go ahead and add all of my ingredients and then mix it all in at one time. I did it like that the first time and it came out, good. So I'm going to go ahead and mix it the same way this time. To this, I'm going to add 1 cup of the egg white protein powder. And egg white protein powder that I am using is this MRM Nutrition Egg White Protein Vanilla Flavor. I was unable to find the unflavored, but I did like that this is antibiotic and hormone free. Also, it has 7 grams of the BCAA plus G, which is supposed to be very good, and 23 grams of complete protein. So I'm going to go ahead and add 1 cup of this to the egg white mixture. And I have a cup measure here. Let's see. This is a 1/2 cup. And I'm going to add another 1/2 cup to this. Okay. Also to this, I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of my allulose. And I am using the allulose baking blend. I'll add 2 tablespoons of this. One. And I'm going to add more like 1.5 tablespoons because it already has the vanilla flavoring in it. So I'm adding 1.5 of this. I'm going to add a teaspoon of xanthan gum. Take that out. For a teaspoon of xanthan gum. Here's my teaspoon of xanthan gum. It says 2 teaspoons of cream of tartar sauce. So I'm going to take this out now. 2 teaspoons of cream of tartar sauce. So there's 1. Here's 2. And that's the cream of tartar sauce. I'm going to add about 1/4 teaspoon of salt. And I like to use the Himalayan pink salt. So I'm going to add 1/4 teaspoon of this. And I'm going to add a tablespoon of nutritional yeast seasoning. And I'm using the one by Bragg's. And this is to give it some flavoring. I used this before and I like the way that it tasted. So I'm going to add a tablespoon of this to it. put that right there in the pan. Now I have everything combined in the pan that I'm going to use in the mix here. So what I'm going to do is going to start mixing this on low, and I'm going to let this mix for a total of about 20 minutes altogether. I'm going to put my cover on because I don't want this flying, you know, too much everywhere. It's going to fly a little bit anyway. Yes, I need to plug it in. Okay, now I've got that plugged in, I'm going to go ahead and start mixing. Now, after this has been mixed in about 1 or 2 minutes, it's a good idea to go ahead and check it. And you just want to make sure that you don't have anything sticking to the sides or anything. So go ahead and just rub down the sides of everything just to make sure you have, and the bottom also, just to make sure that you have everything scraped in there and you can get it to start blending really, really well. So since I know I have everything in here, I'm going to cut this up probably very, very high, and I'm going to let this blend for at least 10 to 15 minutes. So this is going to be a while. Okay, so I am through mixing my protein bread. It has been Mixing now for about 15 to 20 minutes. About 20 minutes I let it mix. So I'm going to go ahead and take this off. And I'm just going to check to see how stiff my egg whites are. So there are my egg whites. And they are pretty stiff, as you can see. I have to wash my hand when I get those egg whites all over. I can't stand the feel of anything on my hands while I'm cooking. But here are the egg whites. I'm going to go ahead and push this back. So here are my egg whites. They're done. I'm going to go ahead and transfer these over. Let me scrape the sides of my bowl and everything to make sure I get everything out. But you see, guys, look how stiff these egg whites are. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to transfer these over to my glass pan, and I have a metal pan. I'm going to make 2 loaves of the bread. I'm going to take 1 loaf of bread to my son. So I'm going to go ahead and transfer this over. And as you're transferring this over, you want to avoid getting air pockets. You want to avoid air pockets in your loaf pan. Because if you get air pockets, that's what usually makes it fall when it's coming out of the pan. So I'm going to try my best this time not to get air pockets. Last time I even seen that air pocket as I was putting it in. But I didn't bother you know, trying to get it out. I had tried to get out so many of them, so I thought, you know, that little bitty part that I saw that wouldn't make that much difference. But it did. So as you see, I'm just taking some of this a little bit at a time, and I'm putting it into my glass bowl here, and I'm smoothing it out as I go so that I can make it easier as far as fitting it into the container. So here is 1 container of the bread here. And I'm going to get some spray. This time I'm going to use just 100% avocado oil. Last time I used some spray, and I just thought I would check, and that spray has a little bit of water in it. So I bet that that is what happened last time. I'm going to go ahead and spread this over the pan really good, and I'll be back. I already have my oven preheating to 325, and I'm going to bake this bread on for 35 minutes to start. If I need more time after that, then I'll add more time on. That's what I like about using the glass pan. I noticed that I could see, you know, how good it had browned, to make sure that I didn't burn it as it was cooking. So I did like that about using the glass pan. I'm going to let that sit over there. I'm going to go ahead and continue to put this loaf into this pan really, really good. And I really hope it gets some good height on it. And I hope that I'm getting There's one loaf pan. Let me get the other pan. So there's one. Guys, it's just a habit that I have of wiping things up as I cook. So I'm going to spread this around in this loaf pan really good to make sure I have all of the air bubbles out, and I want to make sure that it fits in this loaf pan good. Okay, so I have these in both of the pans really good. Let me get as much of that off of my spatula as I can. Okay, now that I have these two loaf pans here, I have to wash my hands again. Just a moment. Okay, so I have these two loaves of bread, and I am going to put these in the oven. And I'm making sure I got, oops, I still got some air pockets in here. I'm going to have to go over this a little bit. There may be some in here. But I'm going to put these in the oven after I get these air pockets. Try to go over these a little bit more. Put this in the oven and see, and make some more bread here. Okay, let me, so this is the bread after it's been sliced. And you can see these pieces look really good and it tastes really good. I've already had a slice. I'm getting ready to have my dinner for this evening. I'm going to have a piece of this protein sliced bread with hamburger patty. So, and that's going to be my dinner with a little bit of mustard. I don't know if I'm going to have anything else with it. But today is a keto day with an 18-hour fast. So I've completed that, but I wanted to show you this bread. And so this is for my son. I'm going to bag it up for him, and then he'll have this at home to help him with his sandwiches and different things he does. But here's a package that I already have put in a bag, and then I kept one piece that I made like a piece of for a bigger sandwich. So this is how you can take your bread and then you can store it in your refrigerator. Okay, so I hope that you have enjoyed this recipe, and please do enjoy your bread.